All right, you're using OBS and you want to play videos. When you play videos, each video may show up in a different size box in your OBS screen. That's because they differ in resolution and they differ in ratios of height to width. It's probably desirable that you have the videos all play in a box of the same size. How do you do that? Well, there is a way of doing it. What we need to do is modify the launcher for the video player. Now, what I've got here is an example from my directory. We've got, here are my videos in the background. There's several of them. They're all MP4s. And if I just were to double click on this highlighted one here, you can see it's Artie Shaw. This is a slide, so you can see there's also a frozen mouse cursor. But if I double click on it, it'll go to the default, which in my case happens to be SM Player. If I right click on one of these videos, I get a display like you see here. The default, as you can see, is SM Player. If I click on Open With, it gives me another drop-down box, and it shows me some suggested alternatives, things that I have used in the past in order to run MP4 videos. And SM Player is obviously one of them, but there's several others. Well, I want to use something different. So if I click with Other Application, click down the bottom here, I'll get a screen like this. It'll list all the applications it knows about that might possibly be of relevance. And there's a long list of them. They're not scrolled, but you don't want to click on most of these because they're not relevant. However, down here we have Use Custom Command. Use Custom Command. If I click on Use Custom Command, I will get a box that opens up that looks like this. Now, in this box, whatever I type in here will be the command it uses when it opens an MPEG-4 video. Now, what I've decided to use is SM Player. Could have used something else, but I've modified it. I've added some parameters. The first parameter is -POS, position, and that's the horizontal and vertical positions. Horizontal at 1500 over on the right side of the screen. My screen is 1920 by 1080. And down starting at 650. So the upper left-hand corner of the video player will be at 1500 by 650. Actually, if it overlaps and it tries to go off screen, it won't. It'll put it as close as possible without going off screen. So why? Because I want the videos to show up over on the right-hand side. I don't want them popping up right in the middle of the screen on top of something else that's annoying. I'm not really watching the video. OBS is watching the video. I'll be watching the video through OBS, so I don't want the video smack in the middle of the screen. So I want to put it someplace else. That's why I've done it. The next one is size, -S size, and it's horizontal vertical. Now I've specified 550 by 400 pixels. Now the size you specify is relevant to what your transmission resolution is. Now in my particular case, I'm transmitting at 960 by 540. So 550 by 400 is only part of that screen. It's a large part, but it's not the whole screen. The number you pick here should be consistent with what your broadcast screen actually is. In this case, 550 by 400 for mine. There's a missing parameter here that will be filled in by the system, and you'll see it in a moment, that goes right after the 400. Where did I get these parameters? Well, if you go into a terminal and you type man SM Player, you'll see a million parameters that you can put on it. One of them would be the audio output. I'm using Pulse at the moment, but if you wanted to switch to Jack, this is where you would put it. You can also put information about on-screen displays and things of that nature in here. There's quite a few things that could be put into this command line, but this is the command line that will run on your video. It is as though you type this line and then put the name of the video at the end. Okay, and notice it's checked here. It'll do this on all MPEG-4 videos until I tell it to do differently. All right, well, what does it really do? Well, this is it running. Here I've actually double-clicked on that video. I'm sorry, the resolution is all messed up, but you get the idea. This up here is where my Artie Shaw video was. I double-clicked on it, and it popped up the video over here in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. And in the background, you can actually see OBS. So that's where the video is. Yeah, the video actually consists of slides, still slides, though. Not a lot of motion. But all right, there's the video running, and it's running where I wanted it to go, and it goes in the size box that I wanted. All right, what is really going on? Well, to know what's really going on, you need to go into your home directory and look down in the system files. Now, in your home directory, there are a lot of files and directories that begin with a dot. Anything that begins with a dot is not normally visible. In order to see things that begin with a dot, you have to type in your Kaja or Kaya Explorer, Windows Explorer, whatever you want to call it. You have to type Control H, and that reveals them. It shows the hidden files. They're normally hidden. Control H, you'll see them. So if I go down into .local, and then down into share, and then down into applications, below the first level there's no dot, because they're hidden at the top level. They're hidden at the bottom level too. You don't see them unless you can get into the first level. So down in applications, these are a bunch of specialized applications that are going to work when you click certain things. One of them in particular is User App SM Player, and this is the override. This is what will be invoked when you go to run an MPEG-4 video. Now I've opened it with VI, edit with the VI editor, and what you see inside this file is what you see right here. There's a variety of things telling it that, yes, it's this, that, and the other thing, but there is the command to execute. And you notice it's added the %F at the end. That's the actual file name that will be applied. And there it is, ready to go. Now, oddly enough, if you've done this several times, you may end up with a lot of extras in here, a lot of extra user app dash something or other. They can accumulate. You can remove them. Just simply delete them, and they won't show up in your display. That first that display back here, where you see all of the possibilities up here, that's the problem area. If you've done overridden SM Player multiple times, you'll have multiple possible SM Player applications, and maybe you don't want them. So if you want to get rid of them, you just delete them down here, and they go away. Don't delete anything that you need, but this is where you can delete them. And that will mean that henceforth, anytime I run an MPEG-4 video, until I change it again, it will show up in a box of 550 by 400, and it will by default open up on the lower right-hand side of the screen. So there you are. Now this works in Linux Mint with Mate, and using the Kaya, C-A-J-A, Kaya is the correct pronunciation. I think it means Spanish. It's Spanish for box. Kaja is what a lot of people pronounce it as. But it works in this particular application. It would work differently in different versions of Linux. But I'm using Linux Mint with Mate, and I'm on 18.1, I think, at the moment. But anyway, it should work with most versions. There we go.